All right, welcome to another episode of Tales from the Collection. We're going to be diving into some of the through the mail autograph returns that I've gotten. Now, I've written a lot of letters to celebrities, athletes, and other public figures. I've told them why I'm a fan and kind of expressed why I've been following them and why I have an interest in their career. And I've also requested an autograph, and in almost all of these cases as well, I also asked for some responses to a Q&A that I sent as well. Basically, I'll ask about 6 to 9 questions per individual. Sometimes I get really nice, lengthy responses. Sometimes they're a little bit minimalistic. But more often than not, I'll only get a response to the autograph request. They'll sign a couple index cards for me, which is typically what I send, and that's about it. So we're gonna see what we got back here, and just so you guys know, you're gonna see a lot of these index cards, and so you know what I do with them. Typically, I'll frame them up. So you can see here, we'll show it on this camera. See if we can get a good angle here. Boom. All right, so here's an index card signed by David Harbour of Stranger Things fame. You can see that it goes nicely here. You basically just use acid-free matte and UV acrylic glass, an 8x10, and you can basically frame up any index card you want with whatever your favorite image from whatever your favorite show or movie is. So the index cards are really versatile. The ones I use are acid free, so they don't yellow over time like some of those cheaper flimsy ones do. So definitely recommend you guys use this because it's cheap and effective. So now that we got that out of the way, let's kind of start to dive into some of these returns and see exactly what the successes that I got are. So all right, we're starting off with a really good one here. If you guys are a fan of The Last of Us like I am, big fan of the TV show, big fan of the video games, been playing since the first one came out on the PS3. So really happy to get this one back. This is from actress Bella Ramsey. You're probably familiar with her on Game of Thrones, but of course she's also in The Last of Us where she plays Ellie. So I wrote to her on the set of actually The Last of Us. They were filming in Canada for season 2. That has now wrapped, but while they were up there, at least I think it's wrapped, right? I think so. Regardless, while they were up there filming, I sent her a letter, asked for an autograph, and this is what I got back. So let's check it out. Really nice here. It says, "To Tim, Bella Ramsey." Gotta love that. So I also wrote to Pedro Pascal, of course. Previously, I did have a response from him. He did sign when he was on Broadway, right before The Mandalorian was coming out. So I did send him a shot from that and a shot from Game of Thrones, and he signed both of those. So can't be upset that he didn't respond this time. He has responded in the past, so gotta love that. So next up is Tom Wlaschiha. Pretty sure I pronounced that right. German actor. You might know him also from Game of Thrones or Stranger Things. So I'm a big fan of both of those shows. I mean, I think maybe even Stranger Things more. I don't know. Game of Thrones is really awesome too. So it's hard to say, but here's Tom Wlaschiha's signature here. Of course, like I said, he's a German actor based in Germany. Typically I carry stamps from the UK, Canada, and the United States, of course. I don't typically have any German stamps or stamps from other countries, so I sent this one with no postage paid for the return envelope. So this is his postage that he provided himself, which was really nice. I also did send, of course, a questionnaire with this. No response on that one, but that's all right. He was kind enough to sign 2 index cards for me. So those can be easily framed up, one with a Game of Thrones shot, one with a Stranger Things shot, or whatever. Next up is Janis Paige. All right, so she is one of actually the last surviving actors from the golden age of Hollywood. So she's really, really up there in the years. She's like kind of seen like the evolution of Hollywood. So I really did want to, mainly more than the autograph, I really wanted to get her kind of perspective on, Hollywood and some things like that. So I did send her the questionnaire. She did respond to me, although her answers are fairly brief. So if the answers are substantial enough, then I'll go ahead and I'll post the Q&As on talesfromthecollection.com. But if it's something like this where I'm just getting a couple word responses, you won't see that up on the website. So But you can see here, we did have 2 pages. She responded to 3 out of the 6 questions. I sent 9 here. She only responded to 3 out of the 9, so 1/3 of the questions. And asked her about the transition from black and white to color, which she was there to witness, and she said that, you know, was a change for the better. Was there a particular project where the chemistry on set was especially good that made it a joy to work with? And she said, Please Don't Eat the Daisies was the project that she liked working on. Would have been cool to hear some additional stories and background and amplifying information, but that's all right. And then asked her about World War II and the effect on the industry, and she said, touched with Bob Hope to help the troops. No, toured with Bob Hope. Toured with Bob Hope to help the troops. So that's what she did during World War II. So cool. You know, can't complain about any answers that I get. Definitely happy that she took her time, especially at her age. Like, it's not easy for some of these elderly figures to be writing, especially long responses. Sometimes they even have like family members help them because they're just not physically able. So, you know, totally happy with that response. And here are the signed index cards from Janis Paige. So she did sign both of these as well. Next up, we have Joseph Karoff. Now, he is a graphic designer. He is known for a lot of different logos, but I think probably most notably for the 007 logo, that famous, you know, it says 007, but it's got the gun in the logo. So he's the graphic designer who made that. We've got a nice little TS, probably for my name. I guess that's a graphic design logo for Tim Santens, I guess. So that's cool. Who knew? I don't think I even noticed that when I first opened the letter. So that was like a world premiere with like both of us. I guess you could say. All right, cool. All right, so Joseph Karoff. All right, he did like one signature here, and then he did one kind of like print signature there. So 2 different styles of his name, both pretty cool. Kind of a legendary dude. So thrilled with that. And I got this cool graphic on there. Nice. Definitely got most of these envelopes I don't save. Oh, and I guess can't forget this. Also got a business card here. So right on. And it's got a signature on the back as well. So extra there, bonus. Love it. So up next is a good one, Toni Breidinger. Now, I'm here in Texas. I'm originally from California, and like I guess we do have a couple of Canes over there, but like it's really popular here in Texas. It's a fast food chain. They do like chicken strips basically, and that's it. But if you've been in there recently, then you will have seen advertisements with Toni there. She's like been doing a big ad campaign with Canes, Raisin Canes, and you know, that's not really her claim to fame, though. She's a stock car racer, actually. But it's just cool that I got this response from her right now when, you know, I'm seeing her kind of all over town via this advertising campaign. She's on billboards. She's got like life-size cardboard cutouts of her at the restaurants and that kind of stuff. So she's kind of in the spotlight right now. Now, I sent her some trading cards here. She signed all 4 of them. And basically, I don't like to send them in actual top loaders because people will sometimes sign the front of the top loader, and when you actually want the signature on the card itself. So I'd rather just use painter's tape, which doesn't damage the card. I'd like stick it onto the front of the top loader, and then they don't have to deal with like taking it out of the sleeve or anything. It's just there. They can sign it, flip it, and it's good to go. I was worried about this card right here because it's got like a chrome surface to it, and a lot of the times ink has a problem sticking to that kind of stuff. So I was worried it was going to come back basically smeared and smudged, but all these signatures look really good. So totally thrilled with that. I love these cards. I did send her a questionnaire. Would have loved to hear her thoughts on some things, but you know, can't complain about 4 out of 4 trading cards signed. Absolutely love that. So thank you, Toni. All right, next. J.K. Rowling, of course, really needs no introduction, right? We all know who J.K. Rowling is, the author of Harry Potter. I've tried to get her autograph a couple of times now, I guess you could say. And I've gotten, this is my second response, of course. First time around, I just got a form letter, basically. This time around, you know, the same thing, essentially, but a little bit different. They did send this newsletter, I guess you could call it, from J.K. Rowling. I haven't seen one of these before. It does have some Q&As and some stuff I am unable to do. They highlighted here, send out autographs or signed photographs. So unfortunately, she can't do that. And that's exactly what I was asking for, was an autograph. But anyway, she did this one, and then she sent this kind of personalized letter. I should say she, probably more like her assistant sent it out. But regardless, kind of gives you some more updates about stuff she's doing. So it's still cool. Like, it's got the J.K. Rowling letterhead and all that stuff, so it's neat. If you're a Harry Potter fan, I mean, I think it's still worth sending out to. And I should, I always like to mention, if somebody pays the postage for the return, which in this case she did. I didn't have any UK postage, so I sent this one with no return postage, and she was kind enough to pay for that. All right, now we got another one from out of the country. This one also from the UK. So this one is from Natalie Dormer, and man, I should have kept that with my Game of Thrones ones, because yes, she is from Game of Thrones as well. She plays Marjorie Tyrell. Very memorable actress. If you've seen the show, I'm sure you'll remember what she looks like. If you need some refreshing of your memory, this is what she looks like right here. So this is basically a pre-signed photo. You can see it right here. Beautiful. Whoop. Yep, pre-signed photo. Basically, Natalie will go into the agent's office. She'll sign a stack of these photos. And then when she gets a request, they'll send them out. So she's not there like getting each individual letter to respond to. They just kind of send out one of these pre-signed photos, but they are signed by her hand. This is like an authentic autograph. It's not a preprint or an auto pen or something like that. So definitely cool. I did send these index cards. These were the ones I sent, but like I said, she's not there signing, so she wasn't available. But they did send a little bit of a note, basically saying thank you and sorry for the delay. I mean, I think it did take a little while, but not terribly long, especially for a free autograph. And that wasn't my stamp. She did pay for the postage as well. So shout out for the free photo and autograph and the return postage. Thank you very much, Natalie. I appreciate that. All right, here's a cool one. So this is not an actor. This is actually somebody who is from behind the scenes. So if you're a Lord of the Rings fan like me, and I'm sure a lot of you out there are, you might be familiar with Richard Taylor. He's basically the one of the founders of WETA Studios. So they are a practical effects, like visual effects studio based in New Zealand. And he's the founder, creative director, and also the head of the company. And so they did like the props and a lot of, costumes and stuff like that for the Lord of the Rings films, The Hobbit, that too. So for fans of those films, this studio was pretty huge, and it's cool to get a response from him. So let's open it up, see what we got in here. All right, let me see. So on the front, we have WETA Workshop with a nice cricket and some foliage. This is a note from the secretary basically saying Richard couldn't sign, or couldn't respond to the questions, rather, because I did send a questionnaire. But he did sign these index cards for me. He did like a little nice note and 2 index cards. I think I accidentally sent an extra card. Usually I only send 2. I think 3 made it in there this time, I guess, but he was cool enough to sign all 3 and write his little inscription. So super stoked with that. Even if he wasn't able to respond to the questions, I mean, that's totally understandable. Dude's probably a very busy man. Here we have Mimi Rogers. She's known... Mimi Rogers is known for Austin Powers, Lost in Space, and also had an appearance on The X-Files. And of course, whenever I mention something, like, these are the things that interest me most about their career. But of course, Mimi Rogers and all these people have extensive filmographies, and they've done lots of different things. So I'm not listing the whole filmography, just, what happens to appeal to me in particular. But Mimi, of course, she signed both of these index cards for me. Really appreciate that. And yeah, there it is. Thank you, Mimi. All right, here's a cool one. Alan Oppenheimer. So he's done, not only is he like a screen actor, but he's also done a ton of voice work. So I think that's probably what he's actually maybe most known for is his voice work. He did the voice. He did voices for the Ghostbusters animated series, and he did the He-Man series as well. But he was on shows, I think, like Westworld and some like older stuff that is kind of a little bit before my time. I mean, not the HBO remake, but the original series. And let's see. So he sent back the questionnaire. Unfortunately, did not respond to the questions, but that's okay. He did write this note on here. Tim, I would love to answer your beautiful question. No. Your beautiful something letter, but I can only do it if you contact celebworks.com. So I gotta follow up with celebworks.com. Now for the life of me, I thought I signed those index cards, but I guess not. So very well. All right, up next is Lucero Acosta. She's an MMA fighter. She did give me some pretty nice responses, and they were thorough enough that I posted the answers on talesfromthecollection.com. You can just go there and search for her name, Lucero Acosta. This is her P.O. box right there. And we're not going to go over all of the answers for this. If you want to check it out, again, talesfromthecollection.com. You can find it there. But she sent me some stickers, and on the back of these, she did also sign them. I like her signature. She's got a nice signature. And then these are index cards I sent, and then she actually used the stickers to adhere them to the index cards. So it's kind of like a pretty unique and interesting look. I like that. And she used two different pens here, blue and a black, and dated them. So this is like kind of a thoughtful, nice response, and along with the Q&A. Really appreciate the time that she took. She obviously took some care in responding to me with this. So, definitely appreciate that, and hope to see her kicking some ass on TV pretty soon. Here's a good one, Xander Berkeley. He is known for The Walking Dead. He also had a famous scene in Terminator 2 where the Terminator, what is it, the T-9000, the liquid metal Terminator, he uses his arm to like make a knife and like stab Xander through the mouth while he was drinking some milk. So yeah, that's like one of the earlier scenes that he was known for. But he also provided very nice responses, very, very thorough, actually, like one of the most thorough responses I've got. You can see here, like, is kind of the length that he went to answer some of my questions. He did sign these index cards as well, and you can see his full interview at, again, talesfromthecollection.com. So check it out. I asked him about Terminator, Walking Dead, kind of his career in general, and he gave me some very in-depth, interesting answers. So thank you very much, Xander. He's very, in general, responsive to fan mail requests. So if you're a fan of his work, recommend reaching out. He's a good guy. All right, now we have the voice of Professor Oak here, Stuart Zagnit. Now, I initially reached out to Stuart in a letter. I always include my email address at the bottom. He's reached out back to me via the email and said that he charges a $10 per card fee, which is actually like super low, really. I mean, if you go to a convention, you're probably spending like $60 for a signed Pokemon trading card, something like that. So $10 per card is a very low fee. So if you want to write to him, send him along $10 per card. This was another one where he was also very kind and answered my questions, except he did it. He took the time to like type it up. So that was very nice. And you can find that interview on talesfromthecollection.com, of course. And here's the trading card. I sent him 2 cards, Professor Oak's Hint, and both the same card, both signed, $10 each. If I find more cards for that price, I'm going to send them over to Stuart because that's a steal in my opinion. All right, actually, we're taking out both of these together because yes, they are from the same person, Chris Renaud. And basically what happened here is I sent these off at fairly different times. Like this envelope right here, I haven't used this size of envelope in a very long time, so there's that. But I got 2 responses, and also I have these older index cards here, the kind of flimsy ones. So I must have run out of my nice, good quality index cards when I sent this out. But look, 4 sketches. I mean, you can this is a good comparison. I mean, you can see perhaps the difference in these index cards here, like super flimsy and like pretty sturdy. Like this one flaps around a lot, this one doesn't. So just the quality of these overall are much different. Anyway, 4 awesome sketches. If you like the Minions, Despicable Me, some of the other Illumination properties, then he worked on a lot of that stuff. So very cool to have these. I'll have to stick these ones in with my kids' rooms when I get it framed up. I got a boy and a girl, and they definitely love the Minions. This is like right up their alley, so very happy to get these back. Wasn't expecting to get that second reply back, so bonus on that front. Tamara Ecclestone is up next. She is a British model. She was a Playboy Playmate in May 2013. And I think she only gave me the index cards. I sent out a questionnaire with these ones, of course, because I have a kind of long-running article on talesfromthecollection.com where I kind of compile multiple Playboy Playmate interviews. So I've got like some of these especially the classic ones, like pre-90s, going all the way back to the 60s. I thought I would take the time to reach out to some of these models and ask them about their experience. Now, a lot of people, Playboy collecting is like a big part of the hobby. Like there's a big niche for that. People typically, of course, will send out shots, but like a lot of these, especially these older models, like, I don't know, it feels weird to send out like, one of these glamour shots to like an older lady. So I try not to do that. I don't do that. I just send out these index cards and I keep my communication tactful and respectful. And I've had some really nice responses because of that. So yeah, there that is. We are going to cover, let's take out all of these Playboy ones. Look, we got 1, 2, 3 more Playboy ones. We'll just bang those out real quick. Allison Armitage, she was really cool. Pamela Pisano and Candace Collins, October 1990, March 1974, and 1979. So we've got, the newest one here is probably 1990. She did some very nice responses, which I put up on the article that I mentioned. This one's pretty cool because Allison did her Allison Armitage was her like pen name, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't know if that's quite the accurate term, but like, this is her pseudonym. There you go, pseudonym. Brittany York was her, actual birth name, and her pseudonym while appearing in Playboy was Allison Armitage. So she signed both ways, which was really cool. And she had like a pretty interesting perspective on her career. She definitely views it a lot differently now than she did then, but doesn't seem like she regrets it either. So hers was a cool interview. All right, Pamela Zinzer, also known as Pamela Pisano. She signed 4 for me. Boom. Pamela Zinzer. That's what she posed in Playboy under that name. Pamela Pisano is her married name. And last but not least, Candace Collins. For the Playboy ones anyway, we still got a couple more responses. Some really good ones, actually. So, if you're still sticking around, I would say please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Put a comment below. Would 100% appreciate that. Any kind of interaction, helps out with the algorithm, all that stuff. All right, Candace Collins, unfortunately, she did not sign. She wanted $50 for an autograph between $25 and $75, really. So she asked for some money for that. So to be determined if I send another request with a check. We'll see. All right. Now I sent this one to the stage manager of the play Appropriate. This has Elle Fanning. Let's see, who else do we got in here? I know there was like 3 big ones here. Sarah Paulson and I think there was one other big one in here, but they sent actually this opening night playbill here, which was pretty cool, and got signatures from basically the whole cast. And yeah, actually I wrote one to Sarah Paulson, one to Elle Fanning, one to the stage manager, and I got replies. I basically got 3 of these. Like they sent opening night playbills back in response to all of my requests. So yeah, I've got a stack of appropriate playbills right now. So that's awesome. And next up is Ted Gagliano. So he was working at 20th Century Fox. He was the president there, actually. And he was working on the Star Wars special editions. So this was back in 1997. You know, as the story goes, George Lucas did the original Star Wars film, which was released in 1977, but the technological limitations of the day kind of prevented him from doing everything that he really wanted with the film. So it wasn't until 1997 that he had the opportunity to kind of realize those dreams with the advent of you know, computer-generated effects. So he was working at Fox Studios when that whole thing was going down. He you know, kind of helped to bring that whole thing to fruition. So signed my 2 index cards here. He was the post-production executive and sound and sand trooper with binoculars on Tatooine, is what he wrote here. It says, Tim, I hope I answered your questions. May the force be with you. And he did do really thorough answers to my questions, which of course you can find on talesfromthecollection.com. All right, so go ahead and hit that up. He threw in some extras here. He sent in the sand trooper photo because they had to do some, you know, pickup shots for the special edition. Like they couldn't just you know, use all of the original footage and like edit that stuff. They had to do some actual new filming for the special edition. So he had the opportunity to be a sand trooper there. So pretty cool. I think that's it mostly. Yep, just the answers to my questions. And yeah, so if you're interested in seeing, if you're a Star Wars fan like me, want to see what his experience was like on set and in the production studio and working in the back end and making all the magic happen, check it out, I'd say. All right, now I also went to South by Southwest recently. You know, that was just this month in Austin, Texas, and I got some good responses from, well, not responses, but I met a lot of the celebrities, at least had a brief interaction with them, and I requested a lot of autographs, almost exclusively. Again, actually used index cards. I really didn't want to print out photos for everybody, but I did take the time to print out some for actress Camila Mendez, and you know, I met her there. And actually you can go to my YouTube channel, Tales from the Collection, which is where you're probably watching this right now, and you can see the compilation of all of the celebrity encounters. I recorded everything, so you can see them all coming to the premiere, interacting with fans, signing autographs, taking selfies, saying hello, all that good stuff. I have a big like montage of basically all of my encounters there, of me getting autographs, that kind of stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you, I would highly recommend checking that video out. But anyway, Camila, you might know her from the show Riverdale. She was there for a movie premiere. The movie is called Música. She's a Brazilian actress. Well, I think she was born in the U.S., but I think she's of Brazilian descent. She can speak Portuguese, and the movie was about Brazilian Americans, and it was a love story basically. Bought a ticket for the premiere and got to watch the movie, which was pretty nice. You can find it on Amazon Prime, so I'd highly recommend that. But Camila, she was super nice. She signed 2 photos for me, signed a bunch for a lot of other people. I wasn't able to get a selfie with her at first, but I was able to talk to her again, have her sign also a movie ticket for the film, and I got I think I got a photo with her. I definitely got a photo with some of the cast. But yeah, I got to speak to her a couple of times during that premiere, so that was really cool. I don't think I'm going to do a separate video for the South by Southwest successes, so I'm just going to tag it on here at the end. As I was mentioning, I did get a ticket signed by Camila, so this is it right here. Ticket from the Zach Theater for Musica, signed by Rudy Mancuso, who is the star of the movie, his mom Maria, Camila Mendez, and Francesca Real. So that was basically, I mean, it was like a small indie film. There weren't like too many actors. I mean, that's basically, you know, the main cast that were all in one ticket, which is really cool. I also got Lily Singh, I got David Leitch, and Alvaro Morte. He, you know, I haven't seen his stuff. He plays some kind of professor in something, but he was like really popular. Emily Blunt on these two, got 2 from her, which was really cool. Stephanie Beatrice, who is the main character in Encanto. And then got Patrick Taylor, who was he did the music for Cold Storage. Got Joanna Sylvie. She was also on the movie Cold Storage. This was her first autograph ever. She was the little girl there who was in the movie. And then Cutter Hodirney, director of the movie. I got an autograph from this girl, Kat. She was at the Cold Wallet premiere. She was in the movie. I did not catch what her full name was. She just said Kat. So I don't know if you guys know who that is. Help me out there. Here's a good one, Daisy Ridley. It's like a tiny D and a tiny R. Of course, she plays Rey in Star Wars, so I was really happy to meet her, and I did a kind of photobomb picture with her, so I got myself in a picture. But yeah, I mean, I wish there was a little bit more to that autograph, but that's okay. Beggars can't be choosers. And then Billy Magnuson, Beth May. She is a podcast host for Dungeons and Daddies, but she was also there for the premiere of We're All Gonna Die, which is a movie with Ashley Birch, who is the voice actor for Aloy in the Horizon games. Then we have Josh Brenner, Paul Edelstein, Matilda Lutz, and I don't know who that one is. I think I lost the label for that one, unfortunately. Then we have Lucas Gage. Might know him from White Lotus. Danielle Melchior. She's popular. I don't know how to pronounce her name, though, obviously. Here's Ashley Birch. Karen Sony, all 4 of these are. He's on the latest Spider-Verse movie. And that's it. That's my South by Southwest returns. I had more than the autographs. I had a lot of fun going there, and I'll definitely be going back next year for sure, I think. So anyway, that basically wraps up the episode. Again, if you are here some 30, almost 40 minutes later, please give me a subscribe, give me a couple of comments, tell me which autographs you like the most, who you think I should write to next perhaps, or if you need help with anything through the mail related. Of course, you can always ask me, or you can head over to talesfromthecollection.com/FAQ. A lot of those basic questions are answered there. We also have a Facebook group, Tales from the Collection, a really good community there. If you got a question or need help with anything, we've got a lot of experienced collectors there who are always happy to help. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram as well. I'm basically all over the place, so yeah, if you want to see more stuff like this, please let me know. And thank you very much for watching.